Alright, welcome. We are live. welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. I am Violet Hyena. You are here with perfect timing, and I am here to do readings for people with perfect timing. So, again, I stream for 2 hours at a time. So, ask as many questions as you like in 2 hours, and I am here. Just going to fill in my own chat to the board. Okay, and welcome. Drop your question in chat, and I'll give you a reading. Fill in the void. I'm going to be filling the void of silence with oracle card. Reconnect. I hope there is a solid connection. Yes, we're good. And now I pin. There we go. Oh. Bars move. There we go. Alright. Oh, let's see here. Eeny, meeny, miny. I'm just gonna do this the easy way. The easy way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, it's the easiest way. This is gonna be my time filler for tonight. I don't know how the holiday weekend is gonna go, but I'm going to be here for 2 hours regardless every single night. 'Cause it's what I do. Alright. Don't look. It is the information card that we never read because it's shy. It's okay now. So, we shuffle the cards for perfect timing because I don't get to the cards I don't get through all the cards all the time, so hey, gotta be use of the perfect timing. Okay. I am becoming more and more aware of my feelings about money. Many people protest when we explain the power of telling the story of their finances as the way they want it to be, rather than as it is, because they believe that they should be factual about what is happening. But if you continue to look at a lack for what is, and speak of what is, you will not find the improvement of what that you desire. If you want to affect substantial change in your life experience, you must think thoughts that feel feel different as you think them. Well, sorry, I just had a thought. That I have to write down any paper. I need paper. I forgot. I got paper. Let's see, Misa. Hey, may I ask? Hey, Misa, you don't look familiar. Welcome. Yes, you may ask. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you, thank you. Gonna write down my funny thought and then we'll be going here. Okay. Misa says, I'm new here. How are you? And Misa says, what's coming in love for me? Ooh, it's a very good question. And welcome. You are so very welcome. Especially because you're new. I'm going to put these away for now. And what I'm going to do here is pick a deck for you. So what's coming in love for Mesa? Let's pick a deck. What's coming in love? Alright, what is coming in love for Mesa? Which deck? Oh, you get an extra card because you got the Joker. Boop. And then King. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 is the Robin Hood Tarot. And you'll get an extra card because you got the Joker. And that 13 was a Gryffindor, if that makes a difference for you. So a 2-card pull for your coming in love for Mesa question. Okay, so what's coming in love for Mesa? Alright, so let's do the first card and then the extra card. Okay, so what is coming in love for Mesa? We have the actual reading card, which is the Ace of Swords. So this is, Ace is the beginning, and Swords is thought, logic, mental, and air. And this is the beginning of a new thought. So this is a new thought experience. Maybe even I would call it daydreaming at this point because it's up in the clouds. There's lots of white roses. Nothing. It's just a new pleasant thought that's coming through. But as the extra card will point out, the ideal is that it will not only be love, but it will also be Ten of Pentacles, which is wealth, health, and earth. And then number 10, which is the fulfillment of a prosperous life. So if it's the thought of a prosperous life with love, then it's a new fluffy thought that you are just getting into and processing. So right now, what's coming in love for you? Right now, it's just the fluffy thoughts. Right now, you are fantasizing about that that dream life, and it seems that love for you is also tied to finances and security. So that is your ideal about love. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have this in mind when you're going into that field. Um, it's not that it's nothing physical yet. I definitely see that it's a brand new idea. So you're gonna have to think about it a little bit more. It doesn't say to take action. It's definitely saying to think about it more. Keep thinking about it and keep defining it in your daydreams. So keep it a daydream for now. And keep enjoying the beautiful, whimsical thoughts of it. Alright, so that I hope that helps out, Mesa. And that's what the cards have to say. And you are welcome, Mesa. Alright, I'm gonna have a drink of water, and then I'm gonna say hi to Margaret. Hi, Margaret. Let's see, Margaret says, what's coming for me next week? And hello. Alright, what is coming for Margaret next week? Let's pick a deck. That is actually a question for all the decks. What's coming for Margaret next week? What's coming for Margaret next week? Let's see, 3 and 3 of Hufflepuff, which is a friendly card. 1, 2, 3. And it's the Supernatural deck. Alrighty. What's coming for Margaret next week? 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 What's coming for Margaret? Oh no! Oh no! It is the 5 of Cups. Alright, take a deep breath, Margaret. It's okay. It's just the 5 of Cups. We've been here before, I think. So it's cups. It is water. It is emotion. It is relationships. It is the number 5, and that is the card 5 of conflict. And that is when you are looking at 3 cups that are spilled, but you're not looking at the other 2 cups that are full. And you have to take a moment, look away from the 3 cups that have spilled, and you have to look at the cups that are still full and appreciate them. And then you'll feel better. And that is the whole story of this card. I know it so well. So I know you're looking at some stuff that it does not look so good. but this card is advising you to, for next week, look at what you got remaining, which is the 2 cups, and just know that you still have 2 cups left and you're going to be okay. Alright, so that is for you, Margaret, and then I see you have more questions and we'll get to them. Alrighty. Alright, let's make a list of the questions. I'll drink water first. Alrighty. Will I be finding out bad news next week? Is that what the cups is? Okay. You know what? We're gonna ask the cards that. Will Paul find out where I work at? Paul finds out where Margaret works. So it says, will Paul show up at your cob? But I know that you probably mean job. So I'm going to autocorrect that. Will Paul show up at my job? Paul show up at Margaret's job. Will I be finding out bad news next week? Is that what the cups is? Is there bad news next week? And that does have to do with the 5 of Cups. Okay, and then we get the questions down, which is miraculous. Okay, so pick a deck. Let's see, Ravenclaw with another king, so intelligence. Oh, excuse me. I burped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is the Robinwood Tarot. Robinwood Tarot. Running with Swords. Okay, so will Paul find out where Margaret works? Will Paul show up at your job? And I just see that the 4th question is a correction of the 2nd question, so that's okay. Will I be finding out bad news next week? Is that what the cups, the cups of, the 5 of Cups is? And yeah. Alright, so no. Yes. No. Okay, no for Paul finding out where you work. Yes for Paul showing up at Margaret's job. And then no for will Margaret be finding out bad news next week? That is what the cups is, and that's a no. Okay, so we're going to look into the cards for more detail. It's a no, but unfortunately it's the Tower. Okay, so this question was the will Paul find out where I work at? I see that this is a fear that kind of rocks your foundation a bit. It's very chaotic. It's a very chaotic fear, and it could destroy a lot if Paul. You are thinking it could destroy a lot if Paul found out where you work. And this one is indicating that no, he won't find out where Margaret works. Because you feel like that might be catastrophic. And will Paul show up at my job? It indicates yes, but it also, the details on this is you are gathering all the hard work there. I think you're so focused on your job that you might not realize he shows up. Or if he does show up, you hide your face and walk away with all your work with you so he doesn't destroy it. And then the last one is, will you find out bad news next week? That is what the Cups is. And the answer is no. And it's the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is it's a court card. It is the court card of the Cups, and the Cups are emotions, relationships, and water. Now, Queen of Cups is one who has control of her emotions. And she treats the cups as very special and listens to the cups and focuses on the cups she has. And the water behind her is nice and calm because her mind is calm. This card is a reminder that if you focus on the cups you have, rather than the spilled cups, this will help you have a calm mind. The cups aren't indicating that you'll get bad news. It is indicating the reminder. This card is indicating the reminder that you need to focus on the good cups you still have. And that is what the cards have to say. Okay, will Paul show up at my house to just pop up? And will I get the protective order against Paul next week? Alright, well, I guess it's still got a deck here. Alright, write down your new questions. Paul show up at Margaret's house and will you get the protective order? Against Paul next week. And then is TJ going to try to start trouble with me and try to start trouble with Margaret next week? Alright, and TJ trouble next week. Alright, so let's find out. Alright, so is Paul going to pop up at Margaret's house? No. Is TJ gonna be trouble next week? That's a yes. Oh my god. And are you gonna get the protective order next week against Paul? And that's a yes. Okay, we're gonna look into the cards for more details. So is Paul gonna pop up? Sorry. My mouth got weird. I have to have a drink of water. Okay. So is Paul gonna pop up at Margaret's house? And the answer is no. Looking into more detail, it's the Nine of Wands, and that's when the person who has been working on these wands or these skills or these projects, these actions, he's looking at his collection, and it's he now has a lot of skills that he has perfected, and he's admiring what he has. And he, by his body posture, he's worked hard to get these skills where they're at. So you've done a lot for your home. And Paul is just not gonna go there. He's not gonna pop up in your territory like that. There's something integrally wrong with that. So he's not gonna do that. And I believe he's also focused on his other stuff rather than popping up at your house. I know this was the third question, but I put it in the middle, so it's here now. It lives here. TJ, is TJ going to be trouble next week? I think the answer is a full-blown yes, because this is the Page of Wands. He's holding something very shiny, and he's just... This is the suit of action. This is wands. This is action. This is fire. This is creation. This is magic. He has a shiny wand. He is loving it. He doesn't know what to do with it yet. He's probably gonna run with it and swing it around like a bat. He's gonna be the trouble child, and you can't hold him back unless you put him out with some water, because he's on fire. He's running. And are you going to get the protective order next week? And the answer is yes. And to you, that feels like a lot of wealth, because this is the 6th of wealth, health, earth, pentacles, coins. And you feel like when this happens, it will be just a joyous, it is a resource. It is a victorious resource. That's what this is. This is a victorious resource that you would be able to pull out that protective order and use it when you need it. So, yes, for next week. Alright, I hope that helps you out, Margaret. I'm going to get some water and then I'm going to check chat. Drink of water. Refreshing. Okay. Alright, we've got a lot of chat. Let's see. Got that one. And Safia says, hello, Safia. And Margaret says, is brother-in-law about to put TJ out? And Safia says, should I go to rock concert tomorrow? Oh boy. So I'm going to start the list. We're going to start the list. Margaret. And then Safia. Wow. Okay. I'm going to catch up on chat first, and then I'll figure out questions. And Safia says, should I go to the rock concert tomorrow? Do I risk meeting my father if I go tomorrow? No contact for 10 years. And Safia says, hello, Rose, heart, and I give heart back. And Margaret says, is Paul spying on me? Will me and TJ get into a fight next week? Will TJ come to my house and starting trouble next week? And John says, how do you practice kitchen witchery? It's not a chair question. Oh, so I am a spice witch. I can give you the perspective of a spice witch. And spices are magical. I mean, a lot of spices are used in spells. So the magic running theory is that if you consume the spices, your body will be infused with the magic behind all the spices. Like cinnamon for happiness, and using all of the spices that have antibacterial and what's it called? Anti-inflammatory properties. I take all of those spices and the magical properties of them and make one container containing all of them, and I add that to probably all of my food. Like, a lot of people are like, ooh, I can taste this in the food, and ooh, this in the food. But no, I just use that because I'm a textual eater. I'm not a flavor eater, so I just put my spice in, and I know it will taste delicious. It'll be good for me, and that's really good and full of good magic. So, that is part of my spice witchcrafting. um, so I hope that helps answer your question, John. And John says he has to be low key. Okay. I mean, it's really easy to be a spice witch. You just get spices and you say, I'm putting spices together to make my own spice thing. And then nobody really questions it. It's very low key. And also there are like a few things, like you take all of those spices that are for financial abundance. Like I think it was basil, and if I ever need some extra time, I literally take thyme, the spice, and add it to everything. Just if I need a little extra time, you just add a little thyme to it and you're fine. And you get more time, and then you have lots of time, and then there's perfect timing, and then perfect timing comes. And it's just awesome like that. So that is how clever you can get with spice magic. It's really fun to do. I definitely recommend it. But now I'm gonna get to these questions. um, Margaret's question. Hello. And Margaret says, "Is brother-in-law about to get put TJ out?" Let's find out. Is brother-in-law about to put TJ out? Number 7, Ravenclaw. So it's a smart deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. Everything, every little thing you do is magic. You know. La, 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 la. It's magic. You know. La, 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 la. So, is the brother-in-law gonna put TJ out? Ah, love that shuffle. It's a good shuffle. Is the brother-in-law gonna put TJ out? And the answer is yes. And it is the 10 of Wands. Wands are action, fire, create, manifestation, and creation magic. And we have here, that is when you have the bunch of wands together, like you worked on them for so long, and then you take all those skills, the actions, because when you do actions, they turn into skills. And this is when I'm gonna just say it. This is when the protagonist of the story brings the sticks home. And in the picture, the bird is bringing all the sticks home. So this is when you are tired and you're bringing all of your skills back home. So whatever is going down between the brother-in-law and TJ, there's a very tired aspect to it, and also a stormy weather aspect to it. The Ten of Wands. Is trying to tell me something else here. I know it is. If the brother-in-law is putting TJ out, then it's like he's taking back everything to the home for the stormy weather and keeping the sticks. And that is what is the details of that card. But yes, he is going to put TJ out. It's a lot that's going to go on in that. I hope that helps answer your question. Boop. And then we're going to get to Safia, and I know Margaret has more questions afterwards. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, Safia has 2 questions together. So, the rock concert tomorrow, yay or nay? And will you meet Risking Dad if you go to the concert? Is that what the question is? Should I go to the rock concert tomorrow? Should I risk meeting my father if I go tomorrow? Does Safia meet Dad if rock concert? Okay, so let's pick a deck. Let us pick a tarot card deck. Let's pick a tarot card deck. Ooh, you get an extra card. Because I did finally assign what jokers are. They are extra cards. Okay, so 10. 1, 2, 3. 10 of Slytherin, so very crafty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is the Supernatural deck. Okay, let's find out. Alright, so Should you go to the rock concert tomorrow? Nope, you should not. Will you meet Dad if you go to the concert? Nope, you will not. What's the extra in all this? Oh, the Night of Pentecost. Whoa. Look, I know the show, I just don't like that character. I noticed you, that's just my phone. So, we're going to look into the cards for more details. The rock concert you should not go to. It is the Page of Blades. And the Page of Blades is the youth of the suit of blades. And blades are swords. And swords are of the mind. And mental stuff. And logic. And air. Because air is thoughts. And thoughts are air. So the Page of Blades is, I want to say a student, but it is a youth, a new person to this mental field, learning all they can about the subject. But also in this, the youth, the page is sometimes a messenger. And it said, no, you should not go to the rock concert. And I feel like that's leaning more on the fact that it's a youth. It's a page. That you should not go. Because of your age for some reason. The blade. Interesting. And I know in another suit that if it's the Page of Blades, the page is running with the sword. Golly. Don't run with that sharp object. So that one popped into my mind. So maybe it is advising not to. Just a lot of things. I think logically, whatever this rock concert is saying, logic says you should not go. I think that's what it is. I think the logic is trying to tell the page not to go. But whether or not the page listens, that is up to the page. We can't stop them. We just cannot stop them. And then meet Dad if rock concert. And the answer is no. And this is the 5 of Bones, the 5 of Wands. So bones in this deck are usually wands in other decks. And this is the 5 of Wands. So there's going to be a lot of complexity with Daddy. Not pleasant ones. Not pleasant ones. But you're not going to meet him if you go to the rock concert. But I see that Daddy is a complicated subject, and that is why he's no contact. Extra details which the cards want to bring up is the yellow-eyed demon from the show, which is the character, and not a pleasant one, and the Knight of Pentagrams. I see. Okay, so pentagrams are the coins, the wealth, the health, and earth. And this is the Knight of Pentagrams. And the Knight is more knowledgeable about pentagrams than the page. So I feel like there is the financial aspect of going to the concert in which is pretty expensive, and it should not be used. Like, someone feels like going to this rock concert is frivolous because it'll spend a lot of money, or something will happen financially. But then there's this yellow-eyed demon here, and I do not like him. And I do understand where you are getting a father fear here. Because the yellow-eyed demon definitely gives off a father fear here. So the cards are recommending, this is a warning, you should not go. I think that is the sum of it, because of someone's age and the dangers of a concert and the thoughts of a concert and the finances of the concert, and just there's a lot of conflict of action. So overall, this is a don't go warning, and that is what the cards want to share with you. Okay, hope that helps you out, Safia. Okay, I know Margaret had more questions. Got Margaret. Boop. Is Paul spying on Margaret? Is Paul spying? Let's find out. Will TJ and Margaret get into a fight? TJ, Margaret fights. Separate. And will TJ come to Margaret's house to start trouble next week? TJ, trouble at Margaret's house. Alright, let's find out. Let's pick a deck. Let's pick a deck. Let's pick a deck. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. 5 of Slytherin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Octopus turrets. Octopus turrets. Boom, boom, boom. Octopus turrets. Octopus turrets. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So, is Paul spying? Margaret? Will Margaret and TJ get into a fight next week? And will TJ come to Margaret's house starting trouble next week? Okay, so yes. No. Yes. Let's look into the card for more details. Is Paul spying on Margaret? And the answer is yes. I can't drink water. Excuse me. Oh wow, sorry, we're 55 minutes already. Water. Okay, so the Seven of Cups. Is Paul spying on Margaret? And the answer is yes. It is for nostalgic reasons, because this is cups, which is emotion, relationships, and water. And 7 is introspection and nostalgia. So there he's looking back at all the memories that you guys have. So in terms that's his reason for spying. And is TJ and Margaret gonna get into a fight next week? And the answer is no. And it is the Ace of Wands. Ace is the beginning of the suit. It's the beginning of the action, which is Wands. And Wands is action, fire. Magic, creation, manifestation. So beginning of the suit of Wands. And it was a no. So this is just saying that it's a no because that would be a beginning of something. So it's just acknowledging that would be something that is not ready to begin yet. That's just not going to happen. And then TJ. Is TJ going to start trouble at Margaret's house next week? And the answer is yes. The Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords is introspection of the mind, because swords are mental, logical, air. And the 7 is introspection, like the 7 of Cups. But the thoughts are usually spiraling ones. They're ones that you are too stuck in your thoughts. So he is going to cause trouble that he's going to cause trouble because of his very deep thoughts. Like, his thoughts come to drive the trouble. And that is what the cards are saying. Alright, hope that helps you out, Margaret. We'll return these to the box, and then I'm going to have a drink of water, and then I'm going to catch up on chat. Let's see here. And we had been at John asking about kitchen witchery. And John has to be low key. And then Margaret. There we go. And Sophia will. Sophia, you're back on the list. Alrighty. Okay, and Sophia says, will I see the X if I go to the concert? And John says, plant magic 2, tons of plants and flowers outside. Exactly, plants and flowers. A really good base of magic. And Safia says, is the risk just meeting someone else I won't like, not going now that you said that? I'm just curious of who has it out for me right now. Lol. And Margaret says, Margaret is now on the list. Awesome. I'll get back to both after I catch up on chat. Is TJ getting put out of his place next week? Zafia says, will my ex-coworkers spotting me and blabbing about my finances? Zafia, I just had a wild inkling, maybe it's just my imagination. Did G and C just decide to go to the concert together? I'm no contact with both, by the way, and the witch C is beyond blocked away from me. Okay. And John says, perfect, now I got a plan. And Margaret says, thanks, you are very welcome. And John says, I have candles. I have that lavender candle and a Day of the Dead type candle. Cool. Candles. I like fire. Fire. Yeah, fire is also really good for magic. So go ahead and burn stuff. It's fun. And it smells good too. Oh, let's see here. I do believe I skipped over some of John. I'm sorry, John. Where did all this come from? Concert. Speak. Ability. Okay, so I see that Margaret had more questions. Alright, so somehow I skipped some chat. So I'm going to make sure I got this in order correctly. Because I had just read the Kitchen Magic, Below Key, Margaret. Okay, so Margaret's question about Florida. There we go. Margaret says, will I be able to leave for Florida in May? And John says, could I use electronic candles? Non-tarot question. I'm going to say no on the electric candles. You need fire. Like, legit fire. Burn stuff. I mean, even tea candles will work. The little ones. But those electric candles don't give the same vibe as fire. Margaret says, is TJ getting put out of his place next week? And then Safia says, yes. But for some reason it translates it as camera? Weird. Interesting. Okay. Margaret says, will I have to get a protective order against TJ? Okay, and then John says, I mean, it's doable. Pretty difficult. That's why I'm trying to make money. Well, making money in general, I think is a good thing. Just putting that out there. And John says, let's ask the cards if I should use electronic candles too. Alright, I'll ask the cards. So John is on the list. Okay, and then Safia says, will I see my ex? Okay, there we go. If she goes to the concert. John says, plant magic too. Lots of plants and flowers outside. Safia says, is the risk. Okay, I read this. Safia, and then Margaret. Okay, so Margaret again. And then Safia again. And then John said, perfect, got a plan. Then John says, candle, will it smell? Burning things have the smell, yes. And John says, okay. And it's the intention behind it mean, right? Yeah, but when you use those little electric candles, it's not fire. Like, as a magical person, I do not look at those little magical flames and go, I'm so entranced. But when you put a candle in front of me, I will watch it for hours because it's like meditation. It's got a different feel, man. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could meditate on stuff, but that's just a different path than using those candles. But we're still gonna ask the cards for you. But now that let's see, even for like 15 minutes, will it give off a strong smell? You're burning something. It is going to smell. Okay, so now that I have caught up, I'm going to go and do the list. So back to Margaret's question. There you go. Will I be able to leave for Florida in May? I'm just wrapping my head around all the questions, guys. Okay, so I think I can do three of Margaret's questions together. So let's see here. Will I be able to leave for Florida in May? Florida in May. And is TJ getting put out of his place next week? TJ put out next week. And will Margaret have to get a protective order against TJ? TJ protective order. Alright. Let's pick a deck. Let's pick a deck. Let's pick a deck. Let's pick a deck. Okay, so King is 13 and Ravenclaw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Robin Wood Tarot. Okay, so will you be moving to Florida in May? May? May. Is TJ getting put out of his place next week? And will Margaret have to get protective order against TJ? Okay, so I'm moving to Florida in May. The answer is no. TJ, protective order. Wait, no. TJ getting put out of his place next week. Yes. And TJ, are you gonna. Will you have to get a protective order against TJ? Nope. Let's look into the cause for more details. So this is, will you be able to leave for Florida in May? The answer is no. And the card itself is the Empress, which is a major arcana. And the Empress is a woman who is usually pregnant and surrounded by abundance and femininity. So she's like a queen in her own space. And yes, she's also making yarn or string. So she knows how to make her resources, and she's got an abundance of food by her feet. And it's just because the resources to go to Florida in May are not there. That is why you're not going in May. Now, is TJ gonna be put out next week? And the answer is yes. And this card is just telling me he's gonna be packing up all of his stuff and going. So that is the completion of that action journey, because that's 10. It's the completion of the suit. And then you have him carrying all of his action, all of his skills, all the things he's been working on out. So that is that. And then no, you will not have to get a protective order against TJ. This is the major arcana, the Chariot, and the Chariot represents charging forward. So TJ is charging forward. But I don't believe it's in conflict to you. So he's moving on, so you don't need to worry about getting a protective order on him. And that is what the cards have to say. Hope that helps you out, Margaret. Boop. That was the first one. Put these here. Put these away. And then John wants to ask the cards about the electrical candles. Okay, so which... Alright, cards. We need someone to answer if electric candles will do for whatever John is doing. And it's Jack of Ravenclaw. So 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Prisma Visions deck. Okay, so cards, magical entities, universe. Tell us, will the electric candles work for what John is doing? Will the electrical candles work for what John is doing? Will the electrical candles work for what John is doing? And the answer is... So the cards say yes. And I'm going to look into the card for more details. So this is Illumination, which is the Wheel of Fortune in most other decks. And this has to do with karma and destiny and all sorts of layers that the universe is working with. And looking into the spiral of everything going on can drive one crazy. So this is a little cat looking into the void. And I think this void just represents a cauldron of magic. So, for John, the cards say that your electric candles will do best for your situation. Alright, so I hope that helps you out. Okay, so we got John, then we got Safia. Okay, so I see. Let's organize these questions for Safia. We got Will. Where you see an X. You see X at concert. And is the risk just meeting someone I won't like? Okay, meeting someone disliked, question mark. And then not going now that you said that I'm just curious of who has it out for me right now. That is a question builder. So, got those two questions. We're going to pick a new deck for Safia. Okay, and the deck is the Queen of Gryffindor. And that's 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The Octopus Church. And I'm gonna have a quick drink, if you please. Ah, it's tasty water. Okay. So will Safia C exit the concert, and or will Safia meet someone that Safia will dislike? Let's find out. Let's find out. So, will Safia see an ex at the concert? The answer is yes. And will you meet someone you dislike if you go to the concert? The answer is yes. So we're gonna look into the cards. It's a 7 of Cups. It has to do with nostalgia. Cups are water, emotion, and relationships, which makes sense because it's an X, and there's a lot of nostalgia with that X. So yes, if you go to the concert, you will see an X, and there's a lot of feelings and nostalgia behind that X. And meeting someone you dislike, yes! And it's so bad that it is the Tower. It is a major arcana about destruction, bad foundations. Usually it has depictions of people jumping out of the tower, and the tower is on fire, or the tower is on the cliff, and everything's going wrong. This card is just an explosion. It is chaos. So, yes, meeting someone at the concert you don't like is a definite with the Tower here. So, again, the cards are generally advising that you don't go. Alright, so I hope that helps you out, Safia. Boop. There we go. And then we got Margaret questions again. Let's see what we got. And Margaret says, is TJ getting put out of his place next week? Okay, that's one question. So which deck would like to answer this question? Okay, which deck? The 8 of Hufflepuffs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is the cat turret. Cat turrets. This one is TJ getting put out of his place next week? Is TJ getting put out of his place next week? Is TJ? The answer is yes. And Temperance. So Temperance is a major arcana, and Temperance has to do with meditation and refining yourself in a spiritual way, or refining your skills and calming your mind with meditation. That is what Temperance is. So yes, he will be getting put out of his place next week. And this is just going to be his chance to refine his skills and move on with life. And that is what the cards have to say. It's his journey to take. His journey of self-improvement. Okay, so did Mart. Put the cat deck back. Then Safia. Will it be my coworkers spotting me and blabbing about my finances? Coworkers. Okay, will it be coworkers blabbing about finances? And I just have a wild inkling maybe it's just my imagination. Did G and C just decide to go to the concert together? G and C concert together. I'm now in contact with both, and the witch C is beyond blocked away from me. And don't worry, guys, witch is not a bad word here. Let's see. And that is Safia's questions. Okay, very good. We're gonna pick a deck. We're going to pick a deck. We're going to pick a deck. Pick a deck, pick a deck. Excuse me, it is Ravenclaw, and it is number 6. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is the Robinwood Terrace. The Robinwood Terrace. Okay, so will coworkers blab about Safia's financials, and will G and C be going to the concert together? Okay, so are coworkers gonna blab about your finances? And the answer is no. And are G and C gonna go to the concert together? And that is a yes. We're gonna look into the cards for more details. The coworkers blabbing about your finances is gonna be a no. And the details behind that is that this is the major arcana, and it is the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is always looking upside down first to get a different perspective on the situation. And this is, from his point of view, poppycock. And that is what he has to say. Gia and C going to the concert together is a yes. It is the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is a very aggressive knight going forth, because the knights are all about forward momentum, forward action. So this is an aggressive knight going forth in action, and swords are actually the mind, the mental, the logic, the air. So swiftly they go aggressively to the concert together. Watch out. Don't get in their way. They're very aggressive. Just let them be. They're ready to logically attack someone. And that is what the cards have to say. Boop. And then I've completed this list. I'm going to catch up on chat after a drink of water. There we go. Go back in the box. Go back in the box. I'm going to turn you over. Ha! Gotcha. There you go. Ah, water. Ah, water. Okay. I'm refreshing. I've been streaming for an hour and 33 minutes. And as a reminder to everyone, I only stream for 2 hours at a time, because otherwise it's way too much. I start to burn out. Alright, so where are we? Okay, we just did candles, lavender, then I did type. Will it smell okay? Is the intention between it? Okay, even for like 15 minutes, it'll give off a strong smell. Yes, it will give off a strong smell for several hours. Yes. I can do it at night. Actually, spells genuinely do work better at night. Runes are pretty simple too, yes. Will I move to Florida in June? Okay. For Margaret, for that question, I just don't want to do like 20 questions. Sorry, it would be 12. I just don't want to do 12 questions of when you're moving to Florida. I am getting the Cosmic Timing deck, and we're gonna see when you're moving to Florida by these cards. That way we don't have to go through this song and dance many times, because I don't have that much time left in the stream. So, when is Margaret moving to Florida? When is Margaret moving to Florida? When is Margaret moving to Florida? little bit more in frame here. When is Margaret moving to Florida? Okay, so it is... Oh, it's up to you. It's up to you when you move to Florida. And I believe with that answer, it comes with the resources you have are going to determine when you move to Florida. So it is up to you. I'm looking at the picture for more details. Yeah, it is up to you and your resources on when you go to Florida. That is what the card keeps telling me. So I hope that helps you out, Margaret. And you are very welcome. Alright, John says sigil magic is the best if I want to be as discreet as possible. Yes, very true. Runestones. I'm not that knowledgeable in runestones, but I heard that they're pretty low key and you can keep them in a notebook. Nothing substantial. Oh wait, runestones. You can keep them in a bag. That's not that very, that's not that disruptive. They'd have to find the bag. Or the box. But usually runestones are put in bags. I'm in a damn difficult situation. Okay. I have crystals and tarot cards. Awesome. I can use tarot cards for my intention. That is true. You can do some magic with tarot cards. The standard rider weight, that is your choice. I have no comments. I got in big car accident back in 2022. Yes, you mentioned that. Okay, is Paul going to... Okay, so Margaret is back on the list. Margaret back on the list. Okay, and is Paul going to move out of his place before the winter? Did TJ sleep with my brother-in-law's wife? I posted more questions. Yes, you did. You did. And then Ankita says, Hi, Ankita. And Ankita says, will I and the guy I like be together at the movies today? We were going with friends. Why is he suddenly said yes when I asked? He said no. So I put Ankita on the board. And Ankita says, can you tell me the list? Can you tell me the list? Okay, so the list is Margaret and then you. So you're very close to the top. And you should get in your question before before I run out of time today. So don't worry. I still got 20 minutes left. And Margaret says okay, and Ankita says okay. Alright, so let's get to Margaret's questions and then Ankita. So let's get Margaret's questions together. Is Paul going to move out of his place before winter? Paul, move out. Was it before winter? Before winter. And did TJ sleep with brother-in-law's wife? Okay. And okay, there was 2. Good. You did post more questions. It's okay. I got to them. I got to them. Yay. Focus. Again, I start to burn out after like 90 minutes, but my cap is 2 hours. We have to pick a deck. So we're going to pick a deck. Pick a deck. Pick a deck. And deck is Ravenclaw 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is the Octopus Tarot. And is Paul going to move out of his place before the winter? And did TJ sleep with brother-in-law's wife? I did them upside down, but that's okay. At least they didn't do a weird shuffle, so we're good. Weird shuffle, fun. I like it when they bridge smooth. Relax. There we go. That was a good one. Okay. Is Paul going to move out of his place before winter? No. And did TJ sleep with brother-in-law's wife? And that's a yes. So did Paul. Is Paul going to have to move out of his place before winter? No. And it's King of Wands. So the King of Wands is the master, a master of the wands. He is very skilled. Wands represent fire and action and manifestation, and he's not fast. The King of Wands knows when to hold his action and when to go forth with his action. And he is holding his ground and waiting and not moving out in winter. So that's holding the action and of moving. And then did TJ sleep with brother-in-law's wife? The answer was yes. And the 2 of Wands. And the wands again are action. So that could be the action. And it is making action choices. And the choice to sleep with brother-in-law's wife came up. So, yeah. That's a yes. He made a decision and he went for it. So, there you go. And I hope that helps you out. Yeah, and then Ankita. Ankita. Ankita's question was, here we go. Will Ankita and the guy they like, be together at the movies today? So, will Crush be at the movies? And why he suddenly said yes when I asked, he said no. Why changing answers? Okay. So there we go. We're going to pick a deck. 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 Three of Gryffindor. So 1, 2, 3. Supernatural deck. Then your questions, my dear. I'm gonna have a drink of water. Will the crush be at the movies? And why did he change his answers? Ew! Whyza? Okay, we have an explosion. Okay. Relax. Relax. Chill out. Okay. We're better? Yes? You're not gonna explode again? We don't like explosions here. We just had a conversation about explosions today. We don't need any more. We need to chill out. Sorry, I was talking to the cards. Gotta put them in order. Yes, it's weird. Yes, it has to happen that way. Oh, that's so much better. Thank you. Okay. I know you guys at home don't know what's going on, but they just had to learn. I had to clear the energy. There was explosions. We're not having that. Not today. Okay. Will the crush be at the movies? Nope. And why did Why did what? Why did he suddenly say yes when I asked he said no? Why was he changing his answers? Oh boy. So, will the crush beat the movies? No. King of Pentagrams. And why did he change answers? Funny enough, this is the Two of Blades, which is a Two of Swords. And I'll get back to that in a moment. Let's focus on this one first. Will the crush beat the movies? No. So the pentagrams is coins, wealth, health, and earth, and resources. And the king of pentagrams is one who has access to all the resources and very calm about how they use them. And he's sitting on his throne, and if he's a king of pentagrams, then if he doesn't want to go to the movies, then he's not going to go to the movies. And the Two of Swords. So swords are of the mind, they are logic, they are air. And two is usually a duality or having to make a choice. And oddly enough, why did he change his answers is because he had a decision to make. And he said both. And it's conflicting in his head about whether he wants to go. But this one card is telling me just he's flip-flopping his brain. He's changing his mind. And he's not sure if he wants to go or not. So that is why his answer was not very solid. I hope that helps you out. Put these back. And then I'll get back to chat. I have about 7 minutes more, so we're going to check out what's left. And then after I gather what is left in chat, then that'll be it for the night because of time. So, get all your questions in before I get done reading chat, because that's it for tonight. Alright, let's see what we got. Okay, and Nika says, okay. And Ankita says, does R like me or other girl? Thinking about he does. And should I completely remove my ex from everywhere? He's crying to come back. So, Ankita is on the list. And Ankita, you have the entire list to yourself. So, I'm going to answer your 2 questions, and that will probably take up the rest of the time for tonight. So I'm going to organize these questions and then we'll answer them. So does R like Ankita? Does R like Ankita? Does R like another girl? Let's call her Girl B. Girl B. There we go. And should I completely remove my ex from everywhere. He's crying to come back. Remove X. Okay, and then what's coming towards me after I've removed my X totally? Can it just be the last one if time permits? Let's see. What's coming towards me after I move X totally? What's coming towards? What's coming towards Ankita? Alright, and Ankita says, thank you for the reads. You are very welcome. I'm happy to have time for them tonight. Sometimes there's enough time, sometimes there's too much time, sometimes there's not enough time. So, yeah, I'm happy to answer your questions. Alright, and then this will be it, guys. No more questions after this. Let's pick a deck for these remaining questions. Which deck would like to answer these questions? Which deck would like to answer these questions? Which deck? Which deck? Okay, 6 of Gryffindor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Robinwood Terrace. Boop. Here we go. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Okay, does R like Ankita? Does R like a girl bee? Should Ankita remove the X? And what is coming towards Ankita after the X is removed? I noticed you, honey. I'll be there in a minute. Okay, does R like Ankita? The answer is no. Does R like girl B? The answer is yes. Should Ankita remove the X? The answer is no. And what is coming towards Ankita after you remove the X totally? The 10 of Wands, a completion of action. We're going to look into the cards for more details. Okay, so does R like Ankita? And the answer is no. And this is the 7 of Cups, which is nostalgia. Like, there is a nostalgic ideal and emotional connection, but I don't believe he likes you the way you want him to like you. And does R like a girl B? And the answer is yes. He's a young man, and he's running with a big wand. I'm not going to say more. I think that's kind of self-explanatory. He's thinking with his rod. And should you remove X, right? Is that the third question? should you completely remove your ex from everywhere he's crying to come back. Says no. So no, you should not remove X. Now, there is a strategy behind this that the cards are reminding me of. And this is Cups. This is the Eight of Cups. This is the Mastery of Cups. And this is giving you some emotional advice. You should not remove him completely because he will find other ways of contact. How to put this? This is Mastery of the Cups. And it says you should not remove him completely. Because if you remove him completely, he will find other ways if he's trying to come back. So leave the ways that you have and just put warning signs on whatever contact numbers you have for him. Because if you completely block him, he's just going to find other ways back. And that is what the advice of the cards is. And then the last one was what's coming towards A after this X situation. And it is the completion of an action journey. And the rods or the wands are action, fire, magic, manifestation, skills. Like this guy is carrying all of his skills home. He has gathered all of his skills and he's headed back home. And that is what the cards have to say. Hope that helps you out, Ankita. And no more readings for the night, but I will be reading chat. And then I'll be saying good night. Yeah, I'm definitely over the 2 hours. But let's see what chat has to say. I'm going to get a drink of water. Boop. There we go. Ah, water. Water is delicious. Okay. And Ankita again says, thank you for the reads. You're very welcome. John says, do you work with the moon phases? This Moonology deck is about as far as I usually go with the moon phases. However, I have learned to not sage anywhere on a full moon. Just do not do it. If you're going to sage, if you're going to smudge a house, just don't do it on a full moon. Do it on a new moon. Do smudging work on a new moon, because when you do it on a full moon, it unleashes too much energy and you're going to regret it. And it's going to be stuff that comes at you that day and it kind of explodes and it's very emotional and just things happen so fast and so dramatic. So don't smudge anywhere on a full moon. Wait for the new moon. That is just something I've learned from experience. So yes, the moon phases do affect things, but I don't. Oh, also on a new moon, on a full moon, my grandmother taught me that you need to go out with your wallet and ask the moon to fill up your wallet. That's the other thing we do with the moon. I haven't done much research on moon phases, but I do check sometimes to see what phases, like the waning and the waxing of the moon and That is mostly what I did with smudging. I haven't been able to smudge since I've been here yet, but maybe one day. But the Moonology deck is about as far as I go with the moon phases right now in my practice. So I hope that helps you out, John. Alright, and Ankita says, thank you, you're very welcome. And John says, I could do that. Alright, so thank you everyone for coming. It is over 2 hours. It is time for me to stop and save my brain power. And because after 2 hours I really start to burn out. So I love you all. Thank you for all of your questions. I'm happy to read for you, and I will be back here in 22 hours to do more. And that is 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do notice you. I'll be right there. That is my phone yelling at me. So I gotta go. Love you. Bye.